This video is a second part of a two-part tutorial. Now this is a hand-drafted design and the repeat unit is 20 centimeters by 28 centimeters and we're working with a half drop. So this has been created using the same hand drafting method that was shown in an earlier video. Now at this point it can be traced off and developed either in colour or just refined, but this time I want to try and draw complete motifs. Okay, now this may not make too much sense now as I'm drawing, but hopefully when we bring it into Photoshop you're going to understand the value of doing this. It's not appropriate for all kinds of artwork, but for this it's going to save us a little bit of time later on in Photoshop. I'm going to need a bit of paper that is slightly bigger than my original 20 by 28 centimeter repeat. I've just blue tacked my artwork to this large piece of paper. I'm going to start just tracing off complete motifs. So anything that spills over the edge, I'm going to leave. Now that I have drawn all the complete motifs, I'm going to start drawing the ones on the edges. And as I do so, I'm going to slide this up here and draw the bottom of that motif. Like so. And I can carry on in this way down the sides. So line this back up. Okay, so now I'm left with this, and I've decided I'm going to use Photoshop to speed up these colouring in processes. And lastly, before I take this to the scanner, just want to show that there's only one motif like this. I haven't drawn it again here. And the same goes for this. There's only one of these motifs here. I've not drawn another one here. Okay, it takes a little bit of practice. Once you do it a few times, you kind of get your head around it, but you want to try and only draw one of each that spills over the seams. And now this is ready to scan in at least 300 dpi. I've opened it up in Photoshop. I've done a bit of a basic cleanup, filled a few shapes black or nearly black, and I'm just going to continue just finishing up the cleanup. I've deleted the white background using the magic wand, and now I'm just finishing off my cleanup job. Okay, so there's slightly different approach in Photoshop compared to the last bit of artwork I was using. So I'm going to just proceed, even though this isn't perfectly clean. Hold Command and click the thumbnail of that layer to select all the pixels on that layer, and I'm just going to fill these black. So that's Option and backspace on my keyboard to fill my foreground colour. Command D to deselect. Okay, so now instead of cropping my artwork down and ensuring that it's 20 by 28 centimeters, I'm going to approach this in a slightly different way. Now I'm going to go straight to the point where I increase my canvas size, so 400 by 400, just so that you've got plenty of space, and I'm going to lock my artwork over there. Okay, zooming out. Now, just so that we can see what's happening a bit better, I'm going to just fill the full background white. So Command A, and then I'm going to press Command and Backspace on my keyboard, which is just going to fill the background colour, which in this case is actually just off-white, so I'm going to change that to white. Okay, so Command D to deselect. Now I'm more or less going to approach this next bit in the same way. I'm going to make duplicates of the artwork layer. I'm going to press Command T, get these options up here, ensure my little triangle icon is selected, and then I'm going to enter the drop value, which is 28 centimeters. Hit OK, and I'm going to build out my repeat. So I'm going to make a duplicate of that original layer, Command T, and this time minus 28 centimeters. Okay, and this time I'm not really going to have a seam as such to join, so it saves us a bit of time here. So I'm duplicating all 3 layers, Command T. This time I'm moving them the width of my repeat unit, which is 20 centimeters, and I'm moving them half the drop, so 14 centimeters. Okay, and we can already start to see that this is lining up quite nicely. And back to my original 3 layers, duplicating them, Command T, and now I'm moving them twice the width of my repeat unit, so 40 centimeters. Okay, and again, I could carry on manually building my repeat until I filled this document, and then I could flatten it and send it for print, or I could extract a repeat unit from this, a block repeat, and I could develop this further. So at this point, quite often when you're seeing your repeat sort of properly in repeat for the first time, it kind of highlights areas of the layout that might need tweaking. So this is fairly balanced, but if I wanted to develop this further, I might come in and shift some of these shapes around, and I would do that on one layer only. Come and shift around on one layer only, and then duplicate and tile out again to test. There is a method that you can use which employs the use of smart objects to do this, so that you can view the changes you're making almost in a live way. It's not something we covered in our workshop together, but if people are interested, I would be keen to make another video or can point people in the direction of an existing Photoshop tutorial. Let's skip to the point where we want to extract our repeat unit. So I've got all my layers. I'm going to merge them together, except the background layer. I've now got rectangle marquee active, and 40 by 28, so that's double the width of my half drop unit, will allow me to now click once, create a rectangular marquee of 40 by 28, switch to the crop, and now I've got my block repeat. And again, you could edit define pattern and then send this for print, or you could develop this, add colour, texture, however you choose. And I'm just going to show a little time lapse now of the development of this design.